The Behind Ears podcast crew would like to thank the following sponsors for their generous support. If you have a little one and you're going to Walt Disney World, you're going to need a stroller. I'll tell you what, KingdomStrollers.com is the place where you want to look into. I'll tell you, I've destroyed my fair share of strollers while at Walt Disney World, and those things are not cheap. But getting something from KingdomStrollers.com, they'll be able to help you pick out the perfect stroller for you. And the nice part is that because they're a Disney preferred provider, they'll be able to drop it off and pick it up right from your Disney resort at no extra charge. So if you don't want to necessarily destroy your stroller in the process and you want to have a great Disney vacation with your little one, contact KingdomStrollers.com and they'll set you right up. That's KingdomStrollers.com.
A new coffee for Expedition Roasters, Curiouser and Curiouser. This tag says drink me for a Wonderland coffee crumb cake experience. Oh my, I feel so exhilarated. And look at all of these other handcrafted themed coffees and teas they have. It's like falling down a rabbit hole into the most wonderful coffee and tea party. Now you better hurry, you don't want to be late. So head over to Expeditionroasters.com to brew a little magic at your home. Behind the Ears podcast listeners, be sure to use code EARS20 for 20% off your next purchase with us. Brew your happy place.
Coming to you live from our studios on the East Coast and in the Midwest, it's the Behind the Ears podcast, because everybody does Disney differently. And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Behind Ears Up. And I can't even do this right. Behind Ears podcast. I am one tired Mr. Chris coming to you live literally 15 minutes ago. I got home from day one of Star Wars Celebration here in Chicago. And let me tell you something. I am the kind of tired right now that I'll be really super honest. It is an exhilarating tired. I had such a phenomenal day. It was not even funny. But here's even the kicker. This is day one. It started at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We left there a little after 7. And this was kind of like the pre-game show, so to speak, if you would kind of consider it, so to speak, where a lot of the people that would normally, be dressed up in costume or doing different types of exhibits, etc., they are actually enjoying the floor. They're enjoying the exhibitors. They are enjoying doing some shopping. In fact, the thing that you saw the most when people came in the door was they gave you shopping bags right off the bat. If that tells you anything, it should tell you a lot. So the fact of the matter is that it was definitely one sight to be seen. And so I've been talking about this in my personal vlogs here on the page, and it's one of those cases where I didn't know what to expect. I've said that from the very beginning. And my friend Mike drove us down there, and it was a little bit of a walk getting to where we needed to be because we got a parking spot using an app, which was cheap, really cheap. But it was about a 10, 12-minute walk to the venue. And we instantly went through security, which really wasn't a big deal. And then we continued into this big queue line. Now, when I say queue line, puts Disney queues to shame because we waited for an hour and a half, something like that, in this queue line. And it was kind of funny because Mike and I were there. We were talking just ourselves. And I went live there. Some of you saw that. And the interesting thing with that is, people around me kind of started listening to what I was doing. And they're like, hey, you're a podcaster? I'm like, yeah. So I told them a little bit about the show, and I started passing out buttons And it started out with conversations about Galaxy's Edge, started talking about trip planning and vacations and when they're going to do their trips next. It was really, really cool. And these people were like, I've known them for a long time. Everybody was so friendly, and you could tell that we all came from different walks of life. But it was just one of those things where it was just amazing. It was super amazing. Just the energy that everybody shared in there. And it didn't matter if you were dressed as your favorite character. It didn't matter if you were covered head to toe in costume and prosthetics, and if you spent hours looking like your favorite character, or if you were like me. This is what I wore. I got my Disney hat on. I got a really cool Star Wars shirt on that I got from Order 66 Toys, and I got my lanyard with my pass. Soon after that, all of a sudden I start getting in lines with other people. And I got in line for Galaxy's Edge because Disney had a thing there. And I started talking with people, and then I basically said, "Hey, would you like a button?" Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, people will take buttons no matter what." And all of a sudden people started looking at it and like, "Oh my gosh, you're Mr. Chris. I listen to you guys all the time." I'm like, "That is awesome." And so we started talking, and people started passing me buttons. Like example, the Resistance Radio podcast. I'm going to go ahead and give them a plug. They gave me some buttons. TheForce.net actually gave me a keychain. Forcecast. There you go. All these Star Wars related stuff. I got some swag from them. And the interesting part to it was that it started conversations. And that was absolutely amazing. I got some really good pictures, but I also realized something, and this is not good in a way. My little camera, my trusty, faithful Sony camera has a bug in it right now. Whereas for some reason it's not focusing correctly at long zoom distances. And it's really kind of disappointing. So I guess that means I'm going to have to break out my Canon, and I'm going to take it out with me tomorrow and be able to take some really good pictures. And I'm really looking forward to it. So what were some of my, what were some of my highlights? So I will tell you, I loved sharing it with everybody. Had some issues at first because the Wi-Fi there is substandard. So I just basically did 4G. And really had fun just kind of showing you the general scheme of things. I did take some really good pictures. I met up with a friend of mine who actually does a Kylo Ren that was in Shakespearean form. I can't wait to show you that picture. I even got a selfie with him on that, and it was absolutely amazing. At the Galaxy's Edge Stadium, I call it a stadium, I shouldn't say it, the booth, big gigantic booth. The cool part about it is that they had some of the ride vehicles there. And that was actually cool. We had pictures taken. In fact, it was kind of fun because I was there by myself, and they're like, "How many people in your party?" I looked at her with a straight face and I said, "My name is Han. I'm solo." And she kind of looked at me she kind of looked at me like that, and people behind me just start cracking up. So I get in there and I see Galaxy's Edge. I get in line for a photo op and give them my camera, let them take a picture. All of a sudden I feel someone come up next to me, come up in the ride vehicle next to me. It was my wife. It was kind of nice because she was working at the Galaxy's Edge booth as well, which was really kind of cool. So I got my picture taken with my wife. And that was really cool. She was having an absolutely fabulous time as well. She just left a little bit ago. She'll be home here in about an hour. And she was telling me how exhausted she was. I get it. Totally get it. But I'm sure she has some great stories. The cool part about it is that Kylo Ren is one of her favorite characters. So I actually went through the line again at Galaxy's Edge with my friend in his Shakespearean Kylo Ren. And it was funny because he wanted a picture with my wife, type of thing. And it was hilarious. It just made my wife's day. The Galaxy's Edge booth was actually really kind of neat because it had like 3 different photo ops, and it showed some of the merch that is going to be offered at Galaxy's Edge. And I got to tell you something about this. Say what you will about Disney merchandise. This stuff blew my mind. And the reason why I say that is because they had everything from your basic shirt to basically outfits that could be almost instantaneous cosplay, pre-made type outfits. And it looked good. It looked like really solid pieces of merchandise, good solid clothes. I mean, it just looked awesome. In fact, it was almost the first thing I thought of it was I asked one of the cast members there. I said, "Is this going to be available at the parks?" And she said, "Yes." And my thing that I was kind of thinking was, wow, some of this stuff, it looks so good. You could almost get confused for a cast member. And that's what I was thinking. But here's also the cool part. I got pictures of it. I got pictures of all of it. And the interesting part to it is that they're going to change it out over the next few days. So like there's merch today, and I guess it's going to be there tomorrow. There's going to be new merch on Saturday and Sunday and Monday. And so, I'm really excited to see all the different merch. I'm going to go through there a few different times. So let's see. We're going to take some questions here. Rudy asks, did they display the droids? No, not necessarily. However, there were enough droids in that place to basically drive you absolutely nuts as to which one did it's coolest. They really didn't have the droids. And I agree, Alex, the shirts looked like they were of really good quality. I mean, it just looks like good, solid merch that I don't mind spending money on merchandise that is going to be long lasting, long wearing, and just of really good quality. I don't mind spending a little bit more. And I have a feeling that is going to be the case. The other parts with Galaxy's Edge outside of the photo ops is that you had this little, you got to go in these like booths. And, the interesting part to it is that you got to do fanfessionals. And basically it was a little thing that you could record a 30-second clip as to, something that meant a lot to you in regarding Star Wars or even the Disney parks. So I did that as well. And it gave you a little chance to do like a little bit of a boomerang type of video with a really cool background on a green screen. I'll go ahead. No, they did not have Jabba the Hutt appear, Alex. First off, hello, Star Wars Belgium. Really appreciate you joining us tonight. I will definitely answer your question. What made the most impact on me today? That's a great question. And the interesting part to this is that, again, I was nervous. This is my first con of any sort. I was really super nervous and I didn't know what to expect. So, 2 things. I thought it was awesome, just the energy that the people brought to the show between the exhibitors as well as the fans. It was very, very fun just to walk around. And the second part is that I love good cosplay. I love good bounding as well. Either Star Wars bounding, Disney bounding, whatever. I am not a cosplayer. I will go ahead and tell you that right now. People know I'm not a cosplayer. I don't have the artistry for it, but I do like the Disney bound, and I'll even do some Star Wars bounding in the future. But just to see people spend so much time, effort, energy, money, blood, sweat, tears to look like a character, and then they bring themselves into that character. it was very apparent. It was awesome. Not just adults. There were kids that were there that did certain types of cosplay that just really nailed it. And that was awesome to see. I smiled. Okay, I'm gonna spoil some of the pictures. I'm gonna tell you this right now. To see the Muppets dressed as stormtroopers. That's right. You heard me correct. Everybody between Kermit the Frog to Animal to Beaker, or wait, no, it wasn't Beaker. It was Dr. Bunsen Honeydew. All of them dressed up as stormtroopers. Oh, yeah, baby. You bet you that just made my day. And yes, I got a picture. Then I actually saw Statler and Waldorf walking around like Darth Vader. Dude, I can't tell you. I can't even picture this. I mean, I can't even describe how much I was smiling today because of that. It was just fantastic. I will tell you this. I also put in a lot of restraint because there are a lot of things I would like to buy. I'm going to hold off. I got to pace myself. And I'm really seeing what I can do. I only bought a few things. I only bought a couple small things. I bought some Lego keychains. I'm a big Lego fan. And I didn't, go too far on that. Now, why didn't I buy more considering today could have been the shopping day? I don't know. I think I was a little overwhelmed. So tomorrow I'm going to be a little bit more purposeful. And Trisha's got it the most here. Oops. Official characters like they might roam Grand Avenue. No, these were not necessarily official characters. In fact, I don't think there was really any official characters that were just roaming around, at least not too many. At least I don't know. If they were, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell the difference. But there were people that were just roaming around that were definitely had their cosplay really on point today. And yes, this was the comment I wanted to click on, as Trisha says, when two worlds collide. But yeah, I mean, it was totally mega. The fact that this is my first show that I've ever gone to, something like this, I'm just really just blown away. I agree, Rudy. Disney is going to take all my money this year. It was just pretty epic. I saw, Rudy, also the Slave One Lego set, and I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really pretty epic. I was thinking about getting it. I may still get it. Hey, to my friend Pie Guy, I know I'm not there now. I actually just got home right before the show. But I do plan on being there bright and early. I have a seat in the Wintrust Arena tomorrow for the panel regarding episode 9. Now, I got to be honest with you. I've heard a lot of different things, a lot of different little pieces of rumor, hearsay, this, that, and the other. About, are they going to release the date? Are they going to show the trailer? Are they going to do this, that, and the other? I don't know. I'm trying to stay away from the rumors and hearsay. But I am really looking forward to that session tomorrow. To kind of go along with it, our friends in Belgium ask, hey, which panels will you attend? What do you think about the lottery system? That's a really good question because I've never done a conference, as I said, and there were a lot of people that talked about how, you'd have to wait in line or camp out and, this, that, and the other for a chance to do different things. I'm fortunate that there was a lottery system. That's how I saw it. And I'll tell you more about that in a minute, because I would be very put off by having to camp out. Now, there's a couple of different things if you think about it. Camping out in Chicago, first off, I don't think they would allow it. I think the city is so much that they would never have allowed it type of thing from happening. They would have had to have had some sort of system to do this sort of thing. That's my 2 cents. Okay. I don't think they would have been able to control it. So I'm glad they had a lottery system. And I will admit, I did for five lotteries. And wait, 1, 2, 3, 6 lotteries. I got 4 out of the 6. So I got episode 9. I got to talk the one for Mandalorian. I got overflow seating for that one. I also got the one for the Phantom Menace 20th anniversary celebration. And I got Hasbro, which is basically, my ability to be able to go in and get some special merch over at the Hasbro booth. As I mentioned during one of my vlogs, I did not get the one for Galaxy's Edge. But I'm not really going to worry too much about it. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I know that they're going to stream it live at StarWars.com, as well as they're going to stream it live over at the Celebration stage. I've already kind of scoped out an idea of where I'm going to be sitting, just to, for the best sound, best picture, whatever. I know it's going to be crowded there. But I didn't get it, and that's okay. I do know there's some people that got nothing. I know that there's people that got one thing. There's been a lot of complaints about how some of the lotteries have turned out. I'm very fortunate to have received the lottery winnings that I did. And I'm very, very thankful for that. The thing of it is that I think it worked out well. I'm still going to have a really good time no matter what. So let's see, for Pie Guy, is the trailer tomorrow? That's what I've been told. I don't know. I'm assuming so. I'm assuming that there's going to be something along with that. We'll have to see. Rogue Comics. Hey guys, first off, for all you guys that are joining us for the first time, I am so glad that you're here. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being a part of the show. Title reveal, teaser trailer, and maybe a sizzler trailer. Ooh, that would be epic. That would be epic. What's my guess for the title? Oh gosh, I've been asked that so many times. I really don't even know anymore. You know what? Let me think about that. I may have to think about that. I will try to do something. I'll try to think of something before the end of the show, and we'll see how it goes. You heard Hasbro's merch is amazing, Trisha. I didn't get a chance. Oh, yes, I did get a chance to go over there. And to be honest, oh my gosh, it looks like it's just really, really quality. That's what it looks like. I mean, it's just like a whole new, fresh look on everything. Let's see. Grudy says, if the Darth Maul figure follows you home and then finds me, I wouldn't mind. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I will say that. So, hey, to our friends in Germany. Hi. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Really appreciate it. Let's see. So Rudy, his guess is Star Wars, the end. I don't know. It's really kind of, I'm trying to figure out what it would be. I really have not given it much thought, but I've been asked that question half dozen times today in conversation with people in line. That was one of the coolest parts, just being able to talk with people in line. And yes, there are a lot of lines, but that's okay. Because I think when you talk with people and you get to know people and you share the same love for Star Wars and everything else, you get to know them. It's awesome. And I'm just really looking at it. Show us your lanyard. Okay. Now let's see here. What do we got? All right. So got my button, my badge itself. I got this from theforce.net. I got couple different buttons. One for let's see, I love this one. That's got to be one of my favorite buttons that I got. The lanyard itself. If I take it off, I'm going to get all tangled up. I apologize. It's basically Shop the Galaxy, and because it's kind of Amazon intermixed with Star Wars. Thing is, I may have to pare down my stuff. I also got a secondary lanyard. Yeah, I'm paranoid when it comes to losing my ticket and stuff like that. So I actually have a second lanyard I have from home that I actually got from something that I did with Disney. So yeah, I'm assuming that. Oh, and again, I got merch from Resistance Radio, and I'll probably be putting some of those buttons on also Forcecast as well. If you guys happen to be watching, glad to have you here. This is the problem. Yeah, you guys all know that I can spend thousands. In fact, I will joke around and say that my wife and I had this conversation last night. I'm like, hey, honey, can I have a few bucks? And she goes, sure. How much do you need? I said, how much do you have? She goes, well, I have this. I go, I know you have more than that. And she's like, well, I can get something out of this. Okay, do that. Why do you need so much money? I go, do you know where I'm going to be going? Of course she did, but it was just one of those funny things. So I really don't have a lot of money. And the nice part is that a lot of people take that wonderful thing called plastic. So I don't like to use cash. I don't like to carry a lot of cash with me anyway. So let's see. Did I sit in the ride vehicle for Galaxy's Edge? I did. And it's, excuse me. Excuse me, pardon me. And it kind of reminded me a little bit like Dinosaur. But it wasn't a whole ride vehicle. It wasn't really... I don't know what kind of track it's going to be on or anything else like that. So it's one of those things. So that's just one of those things to kind of take into consideration. But it was a comfortable car. I was able to fit it without a problem. Me being a big guy, that's always a kind of concern. Hey, Rudy, I would have loved for you to come down. I think you and I hanging out there, man, they'd probably kick us out. That's okay. There's a good pizza place that we can go to. Maybe I should take this comment off the screen since you have a separate Rudy's Toys credit card that the wife has no clue about. I don't know. Let's see. So the celebration will probably be the turning point from fun to new fun on Star Wars and Star Wars after that. Nevertheless, we will love Star Wars as the first day. You know what? That's something I have to confess. Star Wars was actually one of the first movies when it came out in 1977 that I actually remember seeing with my dad. And the funny part to that, it doesn't seem like a big deal. I was 5, maybe 6. I don't know, I was 5 or something like that. I was young. And I remember seeing, the movies that came out afterwards and seeing it with my dad and my mom for that matter. And it was really, really cool. So yeah, you know what? I started on this really young. Now, I will admit, I didn't necessarily have a lot of the Star Wars collectible toys or anything else like that. And I don't have a lot of Star Wars collectibles now, to be honest with you. I mean, those of you who see my mess of an office here, my mess of a studio, I do have more Mickey stuff than anything else. But I do really love this movie series. I love Star Wars. I love the theme of it. I love the new movies. I love the music. I'm just going to tell you that right now. My son is also really big into the music. And, I have a theater downstairs that is just awesome when you can watch these movies and just really super enjoy it. My son has gotten me into all the animated series as well, and this, that, and the other. I asked him a question this morning about, a particular character, and I thought I was going to get a simple 1 or 2 sentence answer. I got a 5-minute dissertation on the answer, and that was actually hilarious, which is funny for, a teenage boy these days to actually want to talk about something like this with his dad nonetheless. So if that doesn't tell you how much of an impact, I can grow closer to my son just through this genre, through this, fandom. Think about that. Think about the real staying power that Star Wars has. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you the funny part to it is I know that Danny, if he was here, he would be bored to tears because he's never seen it. I know he may watch this. He may even be watching this now. I do think I gotta have a conspiracy with his girlfriend to get him to watch all the movies. So it was one of those things. Let's see. Is there some news on the next edition? Maybe back in Europe. If you can go ahead and elaborate on that question, my friend from Belgium, I would greatly appreciate it. Let's see. Mary's actually calling Rudy out about the credit card, and Rudy says, no, she's not here. Or the Indiana Jones ride, where we're talking about the ride vehicle itself. Yeah, I mean, the Indiana Jones ride or dinosaur, I've done both. So yeah, absolutely. Wendy actually comments, the music is the best. My hubby and I walked back down the aisle after their wedding ceremony to the throne room music, and we've even had the bridal party holding lightsabers. Most epic. Excellent, Wendy. And we also, everybody, let's all make sure that we rally around our friend Mary here, who said that she's never seen any of it either. I don't know how Mary, we've got to get you to see this. So here's the deal. I normally don't do solo shows. Everybody knows that I am not the best at solo shows because sometimes I just don't know what to say next. This is one of those cases where I really do have a lot to process before I can actually say anything else. It's one of those cases that I'm kind of speechless. I really felt, really kind of felt like this was something that was extraordinarily big for me. It was a big step, and I feel like I survived it, but also thrived it. That's the best way of putting it. Let's see. Is there some news about the next edition of Star Wars Celebration 2020? No, I haven't heard anything. There was no rumors, no mumblings about it. So that is, I guess, one of those things that we will have to see sometime here in the near future. So let's see. Wrong one. We need an intervention for Danny. Yeah, we do. I mean, I realize that first off, Danny admits, and I love the guy. Don't get me wrong. None of this is a criticism towards Danny. Danny admits that he is not a big movie person. I'm sure that he will, watch Netflix and stuff like that, and this, that, and the other. But he admits that he's not the big movie person. I'm the big movie person. That's just me. That's just who I am. So let's see. It's just one of those cases where, that's okay. Not everybody is going to be able to, really enjoy it. And that's okay. So with that being said, I don't have too much else to really comment. Although we're getting a lot of other comments. Let's see. Let's see. Did I see anybody from the Lucasfilm family today, actors, staff? I did not. And I'll be honest with you. I also did not pay for any autographs or photo opportunities either. I just didn't. And partially it was basically because I didn't know what I wanted. How's that? I just really honestly didn't know. I also don't have a lot of room to be able to display autographs or something like that. I'll have to figure that out. My friend Mike that came with me, he got a couple books signed, so he had a really good time with that. And it's one of those things. But I do highly suspect that come tomorrow, Friday, as well as quite possibly, especially for the next 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I expect we're going to probably see people just walk around. We will probably end up seeing different cast and others, other cast and crew, I'll say, for lack of a better way of putting it. And, but where, I don't know. But I've learned today that one of the best things a person can do is keep their eyes open for the unexpected and have a camera ready. And that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. Is I'm going to have my camera ready and I'm going to take as many good pictures as I can. As I said, unfortunately, my one camera is just dying on me. And I may actually still take it with me and take my other one with just in case. But no, I'm not going to buy any autographs or photo ops. Again, I don't really know what I want. I don't know. I still might have an opportunity to do that. It really kind of just depends on how it works out for me. So I'm really pumped up, and I'm tired as all get out right now. And I'm going to have a hard time falling asleep, but because I got to get up early, and basically my tomorrow morning I got to get my son out the door for school, and then my friend's picking me up. We're going back down. We're going to do it again. Day 2 of 5, and it's going to be very cool. And the good news is that I also got a little handle for my phone, so it makes things a little bit easier for me to stream. That should be good. And I hope to stream a little bit more, a little bit longer. We'll see how it goes. I haven't been seeing the comments, so we'll have to see about that. I realize those that are listening to the podcast after this recording will not necessarily care about that. I could appreciate that, but we'll have to see how it goes. All right, let's see. Let's see. Who do I want to see as a surprise guest tomorrow? Ooh, that's interesting. Who should I see? You know what? I don't know, because, okay, so let's take a look at something here. I'm going to open up the app. By the way, if you hear noise in the background, I think we're getting a thunderstorm. I'm going to open up the app. I'm going to see who are the panelists, or who's going to be around, because there are some people that I wish that I could actually just take a quick shot. No, it's a little bit. Is it wrong to take a picture of someone from a distance? Is that creepy? Is that stalky-ish? I don't want to ever do that. That's just wrong. I hate to do that sort of thing. That just doesn't seem right. Wow, the mobile app is slower than I'll get out. Oh, maybe I'll turn on my Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi was really bad. I just got a lightning alert on my phone. So I may not be able to open up the mobile app. Although there's a lot of people that have been saying that mobile app has not really been working out too well. So, you know what would be cool? I'll tell you what would be cool. You're not gonna believe this. I would love to see John Williams show up for the episode 9. I would love to see that. And why John Williams of all people? Because quite honestly, that soundtrack is so epic. It is just one of those things. So that's what I would do. That is my answer, my friend. I would love to see that. But you know what? I'm excited. I am so pumped. I get to do this again. So I'll tell you what. First off, again, to everybody who's watching us live for the first time, thank you. Thank you so much for being a part of the show tonight. I am going to call it quits a little bit early than I usually do. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording here in a minute, and we're going to do a small after party. And I'll explain more of that in a moment. So, as we go ahead and wrap up, I'm going to go ahead and play my usual outro and hang out for a few minutes. Thank you once again, everybody, for joining. And by the way, if any of you, especially those of you who are on YouTube, are actually there, I hope you find me. Feel free to find me over at the Behind the Ears Podcast Facebook page. I will be monitoring that for messages as much as I possibly can. I would love to meet up with you. I'd love to give you some of our buttons and some swag just for saying hi. So if you're able to do that, let's meet up. All right, hang on and listen to these last closing announcements. Heard the show and we hope you want more. Well, feel free to join us over at our social media platforms. Instagram and our Facebook page can be found at Behind the Ears Podcast. Our webpage is behindtheearspodcast.net and our email is behindtheearspodcast@gmail.com. And our Twitter handle is @BehindTheEarsPC. And come and join the conversation about all things Disney over at the WDW community page. Don't forget to rate and review the show over at iTunes or Apple Podcasts, as it really helps us get the word out about the show. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the show on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or the Podbean app. Also, you can listen to us on Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, and via Alexa and Google Home. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me once again for an episode of the Behind the Ears podcast, a special Star Wars celebration, Day 1 edition. I will tell you this right now. I cannot guarantee that I will be going on the air like this after every night because it really depends on what we're going to be doing. Just watch out for the streams over at the Behind the Ears podcast Facebook page, as well as the Behind the Ears podcast YouTube page as well, because I'm going to try to do some of the after party stuff. We'll have to see how it goes. All righty. Thank you so much for joining us. And by all means, until we meet again, I hope you have an absolutely magical day. Take care.